What's the matter?
I lost you.
I see you.
See you.
Do you?
Yeah.
See you, hear you.
Well, maybe I have to, wait. Ha,
You found
here
us?
I am. Somebody's
Yeah.
lost.
We never
No.
lost you. You lost us.
Yeah.
Well, that's Chris, right?
Yeah,
I muted my video, but I'm still here.
Okay, so we're on TV live right now, guys. So,
Okay. Call to order at what time?
well, not yet until Chris tells
Not
me
yet.
to go ahead.
You're all set whenever you're
Okay.
ready.
All righty. I'm Mitch Goldblatt, the chairman of the Orange Recycling Committee. I'm going to call the meeting of the Orange Recycling Committee for October 21st to order at 7:08 p.m. Is there anyone here from the public? I don't see anybody from the public outside of the committee. So I don't think we have any public input this evening, which is unusual because we usually have somebody.
yeah.
So we have, next up is review and approve the minutes from September 16th, 2020 meeting. Is there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
Mark writes the minutes. They're always perfect.
I don't know about that, but
Good job, Mark. All right, then if they're perfect, is there a motion to approve those perfect minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thanks, Chris. Is there a second?
Yeah, me.
Second, Loretta. Okay. There's no further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Okay, treasurer's report. Mark, you're up. Give us the lowdown. We got some things to talk about.
Yeah, our current balance is $2,278.88. We recently paid $77 for our last brush and leaves fast signs sign. The new vent plastic bags was like $186.60, and we paid $550 to the Affordable Solutions for our shredding day, which I did get the check from Rotary Club and bring to Town Hall the other day, so that will reflect hopefully in next month's balance.
Very good. Let me just run down a little bit of that. The plastic bags are for the rack and pack at the transfer station, that big bag that we put in there for people to put their plastic and wrap in. As it turns out, this is one of those that falls under believe it or not. Someone stole a full thing of bags,
Oh,
which quickly put the rack and pack out of commission several weeks ago. And so we had to place an order for, we buy 3 at a time, 3 rolls at a time. We replaced those. So that's the rack and pack vent plastic bags part of the treasurer's report. Fast signs was for the original signs we did to help out the Boy Scout project and to replace the brush and leaves sign. And then Affordable Solutions, Loretta, you can talk to your husband, Phil. The Rotary Club did reimburse us for the shredding day, which we really appreciate. But I found out tonight, they also wrote a check directly to Affordable Solutions for the same amount of money,
oh dear.
which Joe Johnson is going to destroy. So you can let him know, please, that
Okay.
they overwrote it. And I will send you offline. I'll send you the information with the check number and all that.
Oh,
Because
fine.
Joe sent it to
Thank
me.
you.
All right.
Okay.
So we're good. All right. Since there was a bunch of things there on the treasurer's report, is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
I'll make the motion to approve the report.
Thanks, Wendy. Is there a second?
I'll be a second.
Thanks, Pat. All in favor of approving the report from the treasurer, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Great. Okay, so we have an update on the residential recycling rates, which I sent out to you, I think either this morning or yesterday.
Yeah, we had a good month this past month.
We did. We did, of course, if I can find what I sent you guys.
Up almost, what was it, like 14.5 or almost 15%.
Yeah, we had the month of September, after August was a down month versus we're comparing to last year. We had 82.31 tons in September, which compared to last September was up 14.9%, which leaves us with, if my calculations are correct, we're up 5% from last year, showing calendar year 2020 versus calendar year in 2019. So
Good.
that's a good sign.
It's a very good sign considering COVID. I think people are getting out more and maybe are more aware of,
Yep.
I really should do this.
Well, it's a good thing. People are putting out the recycle bins and they're bringing it to the transfer station and just continuing to educate, which is what we try
Yes.
to do as best we can.
Yes.
That's great.
Okay, old business. Let's talk about the signs at the transfer station. So number of things happening with the signs at the transfer station. We need to approve a bill tonight, which I'm not sure is the final bill because I don't know if it includes the labor that goes with this. But of course, we've been working with Fast Signs who did all the transfer station signage. So we're just updating some of the signage there. Since our last meeting, we've done a sign for the outside signage where we have the list of signs of list of stations, if you will, at the transfer station. So we have one made up for clothes, shoes, and more. That's the one that's going to hang on the pylon sign. It'll replace the Goodwill sign that is there presently. By the way, these signs are all supposed to go up this week. So it means by tomorrow or Friday, hopefully. That sign is $44.26. Then we had the aluminum sign that's going to go on the trailer itself, which will say clothing, shoes, housewares. We have that sign's a little bigger, so we were able to put a little bit the housewares instead of just more on that sign. That's $54.94. Then we have the two signs. These are putting all plastic bags in the shed. These are the directional signs we're going to put up next to and attached to the railings around the big recyclable bin where people put their plastics, their plastic bottles, their plastic containers, I should say, glass, paper, but directing people to put plastic bags in the shed. We had two of those made, as you may recall. They're $96.10 each for $192.20. Okay, I missed this before. The installation fee is on here. It's $150 to put up those particular signs, those four signs I just mentioned. Then there's also going to be a banner that's put on the side of the big trailer that used to be Goodwill. If you've been up there, you notice the Goodwill sign is gone. We're going to put up a new sign that says Simple Recycling and what they collect in terms of categories. That sign is a large banner. It's 60 inches by 144. Includes grommets for installation. That sign is $400.10. There was also a very high charge for installation of that sign. I say high charge. I think $500 to install it was high. So did Simple Recycling. So what Fast Signs is doing, and Steve is doing Fast Signs, he is going to create that sign, leave it at the transfer station, and Simple Recycling will do the installation themselves.
Oh, good.
So that leaves us with a total to approve tonight of $866.50 for all the aforementioned signs. Any questions? If not, is there a motion to approve? Loretta?
Question or two.
Yes, absolutely.
First of all, I was at the transfer station about a week ago, and I took some pictures, especially around that, do you call them bins, those huge things that you
Yeah.
could fall into? Around the one that takes the bottles, the cans, and the paper. What
Right.
a mess that is. I sent all the pictures to you folks
I got
about an
them.
hour ago. You got them?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really awful. And I thought the signs were pretty clear. But what I wanted to ask also was the items that the Simple Recycling takes, are they going to be the same as what are mentioned on their website? Because some of the houses of worship and so forth are asking me, and I don't know whether I should say, well, here's the website, look at this huge list, or shall I just say, well, go there and see what it says? Go to
Well,
the,
either way,
They'll be the same.
they will take basically, not totally, but basically the same items that Goodwill will take. Now, you're not going to be putting the huge items that they won't take, such as furniture in those drop bins that we're talking about.
Uh-huh.
They don't take the furniture. They don't take bicycles, but they do take a lot of the other, the household goods, the picture frames and pictures, the pots and pans,
Small appliances that were,
small appliances.
okay,
In
okay.
addition to their bread and butter, if you will, is all the clothing, all the
Clothes.
shoes, boots, jackets,
Right, purses,
blankets and purses and
curtains.
hats. Yep, things
Yes,
like that.
yes,
So
okay,
the,
okay.
the textiles is what they mostly want, but that doesn't mean
Mhm.
they will take the other things as well.
All right,
And it's been going fairly well so far. We've had a couple small glitches with simple recycling, but it is moving forward. So
good.
we'll get back to the minute after we get off the sign situation. So, any other questions about the bill or the invoice from Simple Recycling, or is there a motion?
I have a question. Is there a
Yep.
safe place to leave that sign? Seems like things disappear there.
Well, that sign will be left with the attendant either down below or up top. It's the plastic vent bags that disappeared. Look, they made it easy for themselves, which I really can't blame them. They had put the roll of bags on the floor of the shed,
Yeah, that's where I see it. Yeah,
which is what they've done for a couple of years now.
yeah.
And so when they take the one bag out, tie it up, toss it in with the other recyclables, they just have the bag right there and put it in. I certainly think that's a reasonable thing to do. They claim that bag, that roll was stolen. And quite frankly, folks, unless you're using it for leaves, they're not very efficient. 'Cause they have vents in them. They're not gonna hold water. Let's put it that way.
Maybe they'll
So-
show up again.
Well, supposedly they're on the lookout for them, but we haven't heard of anybody using them to dump trash yet.
Are they going to keep the rolls still there, or are they going to leave maybe only 2 bags and do it?
I don't know. I kind of leave that to them. I think they may be more judicious, but it's still, they run the transfer station. We're just helping supply it. Hopefully that does not happen again because it's a very expensive venture.
And
and I
that
think-
comes out of our budget, though, does it not? Those
Yeah, it
bags?
does. It does. And so we're trying to keep that going. So anyway, any other questions?
You might get back to it, but the new trailer, any idea when that might be available? Start
We're gonna come back to that in a minute.
okay, all right. I thought you said that, but okay.
Any other questions on the bill?
No.
If not, is there a motion to approve the invoice for $866.50 with fast signs?
Sure, I'll make a motion.
Mark
To
makes a
approve it.
motion, was second.
If
I'll
the
second.
treasurer, yeah,
Chris is seconding it. There's no further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. So let's talk about a few things, and Patrick brought it up, so I'll take it right now. Chris, I'm putting you to Bird Dog again. Anything new with Home Depot and the replacement of the shed?
No, and actually, I dropped the ball somewhat. I have let it go with some of the other projects. So I'm reminded today as I was getting ready for this meeting that we should probably pursue it again. So I'll reach back out and see what we can do to get that more solid fence and the shed in as a replacement. And I'll try to get some answers and hopefully get some updates in the next week or so.
Great. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So back to Simple Recycling. They're in place. Even though there's no signs up there yet, which hopefully they should be this week, as I said, they are in business. There was a couple of small glitches in the beginning. So there was a glitch about what they would take and wouldn't take. We got that taken care of. There was a glitch because Goodwill took away all the rolling carts that were inside that trailer. Simple Recycling has put up some big cardboard, very heavy cardboard bins or boxes, if you will, for people to keep things straight on top of pallets. It's a bit messy inside, but there's still plenty of room for people to bring stuff, and they are taking stuff out every week. So it's been going, I think fairly well so far.
So
Let's
Mitch,
see,
I'm sorry. So that's open now. Like we can.
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah,
open,
that-
it's been open for a
bags in my
couple of weeks.
garage. Okay. I
Yep.
was.
Yes, I was there the other day.
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
It's
Yeah,
been
me
up
too.
there last couple of weeks. Yeah, we had one unfortunate situation where I was away and my wife took stuff there and she was told it was closed and she ended up going to another aforementioned, or I won't mention, place to drop the things off. We had a little bit of a squabble about that. Nonetheless, things are back in order. It's opened up and they are accepting things and seem to be, from my conversations with our representative, Sonny Wilkins, going fairly well so far. And just trying to monitor the pace with this. I think when the signage goes up and people realize that it is open because the goodwill signs are off, that it is back open, that we'll see more activity there
Right.
going forward. So I also got a text today from Sonny that the drop-off bin for High Plains Community Center is en route. So I
Ooh,
don't know if that meant it was being delivered today or later this week, but that should be, I hope, by the weekend. So what that means is that there'll be one of those drop bins like you see all over the place with for clothing and shoes, et cetera, et cetera. It'll be behind High Plains, closer to the cafeteria area, between the cafeteria and the pool, in an area that is close to where the other bins are for recycling and for trash, behind the building. So those will be that one will be put up there so people can utilize that as well for people that either A, don't want to go to the transfer station, B, don't go to the transfer station, C, want to drop things off after hours when the transfer station isn't open, such as a Sunday. So that would should work out well. That'll be monitored as well, and hopefully will work out for everyone indeed. Yes, Loretta.
color.
I don't know. I haven't seen the picture of it yet. I haven't seen what it looks like.
I'll go by.
Yep.
I'll go by. Yeah.
Well, when we do see it there, we should take a picture. We should try to publicize
Yes.
that as well.
Yes.
Both on the website, maybe even in the Milford Orange Times as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what you can put in there too, a list of, yeah,
Yep.
would be good.
Yep,
Mhm.
absolutely. So you have, as I move down my list here, you all have received the correspondence that I received as a member of the Board of Selectmen from the Board of Education. They had a number of reasons why they prefer not to have the bins, the simple recycle bins at the schools. I can't say I agree with all of them, but I understand their reasoning. I would hope that in the future, if we can show that things move smoothly at High Plains and at the transfer station, that maybe they take another crack at this. And I think after COVID, I say that all the time, after COVID. It's out in the future somewhere. After COVID, hopefully that will ease up some of the concerns, restrictions, et cetera, in going forward. So the schools are a no-go for right now. Simple Recycling is very disappointed about that. Felt there'd be wonderful drop-off points, and will hopefully pursue that in the future. And then I turn over to Loretta, who I know has been trying to contact houses of worship to see if they would allow for drop boxes in their parking areas or not. So Loretta, the floor is yours.
Thank you. There were 8, maybe 10 houses of worship. I held off with the synagogues for several weeks because they were in their high holy days, so it really wasn't appropriate to call them at that time. I've gotten some good response, but not 100%. Some places like the Congregation or Shalom, isn't that yours, Mitch?
Yep.
Yes, and I was told by the rabbi that that congregation collects and distributes items. So they're not interested in a bin at their place. Neither is Orange Congregational Church, and they're in the historical district, so that's a problem. Holy Infant, they also have their own recycling, if you will. So I'm just waiting to hear from Good Shepherd's very interested, but they have another bin there, which they're not, that company is not picking up the stuff. So they're hoping that they can move that out and use simple recycling. Haven't heard back from St. Barbara. It takes a little while because the ministers and the rabbis can't just say yes or no. They have to check with their board of directors, if you will,
Yep.
which usually meet only once a month. But so we don't have any definite yeses yet, but I had some questions. And one of them, well, one was, what do you accept? What do they do with this material? So I sent them, I copied some questions and answers from the site and sent it to the rabbi. But also they wanted to know if we had a picture of the bin. Though I gave them the dimensions, they wanted to see what it looked like. Is there a way I can get a picture? I didn't see one on their website.
I think as soon as that one shows up at High Plains, we can take a picture of it and they can go by and see it themselves.
Yes, that's right.
Because it'll be, I'm sure, the exact same dimensions, sizing, etc.
It sounded.
I have a
that's right.
question.
Yes, Pat.
So if you ever had a drop box at, say, Amity High School, would that be, since it's in Woodbridge, would that be our jurisdiction? Like, how would that work? 'Cause-
We had not approached Amity. It would have to go through the Amity Board of Ed, obviously.
Right.
You know, and then Simple, remember, Simple has to pick up too. And they were looking to pick up, because they're making pickups in the town of Orange at the transfer station at least once a week, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to then also go out and check the drop box or boxes in the town of Orange. Going all the way out to Woodbridge may not be as beneficial.
Yeah, it's kind of a long drive from here.
Yeah. So,
Junior high school.
well, once again, the junior high school is the middle school is going to be the same issue in terms of having to go through another board of education for approval. And actually that's going to be even a little bit more difficult because, not to say they wouldn't be interested, but because the Amity board controls pretty much the entire grounds of the schools, whereas, you know, there was also, we didn't want to get into a big discussion or battle, I guess, with the Board of Education, but technically the town owns the land and the Board of Education controls what goes on inside the schools as opposed to outside. But, you know, based on their objections, their letter, their thought process, they spent 2 meetings discussing this. We've decided, myself and Sonny at this point, not to pursue it further at this time. And let's see how it goes first and see if we can maybe bring it up later, maybe not. And we'll just play it by ear.
You know, I think the fact that we have it at the transfer station and the community center, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that at this point. I think that's.
Oh, yeah, it's a big plus.
And
Big
how much
plus.
recycling, how much recycling can you do in one town? I mean, you know.
I gotta tell you, Wendy, you'd be surprised at how fast that trailer was filling up for
Okay.
Goodwill, and hopefully it fills up as much for us. And I gotta tell you, I think we helped it last weekend, but I am just amazed at how much cardboard gets recycled in this town.
Yes, and at the
Oh, the
Untitled
Amazon
Chapter, I said that they have like a shed where they take recycling, and this company was not picking up for a while, so they don't even know if it's still in business. But people were leaving stuff outside. It was just beginning to pile up, all these
Right.
bags.
We don't want that to
Yeah.
happen. Yeah, we don't want that to happen.
No, but it's good that people are involved and they're doing it.
All right. So Loretta, you'll continue to pursue that. We'll bring
I
that
will.
back in the next meeting. Quite frankly, I think these boxes are being made to order, so to speak, which is one reason why this one's taken so long for High Plains. We should probably find out if there's 1, 2, 3, whatever the number is, and let Simple know that these 1, 2, or 3 houses of worship are interested. And if so, do them all at the same time if we can.
Good idea. So when I have a complete report, I'll send it to you.
Yep.
This is how many we need and, okay.
We'll
Okay.
discuss it again at the next meeting then.
At the next meeting, time
Yeah.
enough? Okay.
All right. And then once again, you know, while we, as our committee, and Loretta's done a great job on the articles, and Eileen's done a great job with Facebook, as long as we continue to publicize this and let people know, word gets out, and tell friends and neighbors, and we'll go from there. Next up, I just have on the agenda again, I should probably take it off by now, the Oak Ridge Recycling Plant. We're still not ready to go visit it. based on COVID. Shredding Day, October 17th. I gotta tell you guys, it was a smashing success. I gotta thank everybody who was there, everybody on this call, and then some on this meeting. We had the Rotary Club was terrific. The Lions Club, terrific. I want to also publicly thank three other people. Our emeritus chairman, Tom George, coming back to help. Our emeritus member, John Brown, who schlepped all the cardboard to the transfer station, which was just a tremendous amount of cardboard boxes. And I also want to thank Katie Clark, who has been a observer of this meeting a couple times, at least once or twice, who said she wanted to help out. She showed up right before 9 o'clock. I gave her a T-shirt, and let me tell you, she worked her tail off to help us and did a great job. I'm very, very thankful for her help as well. And, you know, a couple people remarked, I didn't think of it this way. A couple people remarked, this is the first town event we've had in Orange for like the last 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
If you think
Good
about
point.
all the big
Wow.
events that have been canceled, not that this was one where we were socializing like you would at a fair or a carnival, which unfortunately had to be canceled, or a parade. It was really something to think about. You know, we pulled together a town event, and Joe Johnston, I think, is still counting the.
I was
still-
going to say, do we have a tally? I know we have at least 9,000 pounds, but then he had all that in the van to shred as well.
the truck alone had 10,500 pounds,
Oh, my
which is
God.
over capacity. I hope I didn't get him in trouble. Another 4,500 pounds in the van. We had
15,000 pounds?
15,000 pounds, guys.
Wow.
It was tremendous. And we had to turn people away,
I know.
which was sad in itself, because
Mm.
we had such a success. And I tell you, I'm sure I said to somebody, if not all of you, during the event on Saturday, that COVID or no COVID, I think we found the way to do this. Is
Yeah.
just have them line up, open the trunks, and let them go. And I think it worked. Well, little glitch here and there, but I think it worked very successfully. Kept people in line. It was orderly. We didn't have people, you know, parking and dragging stuff and cutting in front of somebody else. And I think it went very smoothly. And I want to thank everybody for all their help, because it took all our help to make it happen. The mattress people were very happy. The Lions Club, I think, brought in 14 or more mattresses on their own. And we had a total of 27 mattresses and box springs that were recycled that day. And I know that the people from the Mattress Recycling Council and Bye Bye Mattress were extremely happy with the results. And that also went extremely smoothly. And as if things weren't good enough, the weather held out.
Thank God for that. But definitely, Katie was amazing. I thought she worked as if she was being paid to work. She did not take a break at all.
And not like you, Mark.
Thanks, Patrick.
No, we all worked that way the first time. We'll see how she does the second time. But,
Question.
yes.
We have a Google group in our neighborhood, and some neighbor said, I have a mattress to get rid of. How can I do that? I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you're a week late. And somebody else replied, well, just take it to the transfer station and throw it in the hopper. Is that all right?
Unfortunately, that is all right.
Okay.
Since the town of Orange does not have a mattress recycling program, many towns do. I expect that to become mandatory someday, but it's not right now. So Orange has opted not to have a mattress recycling program. Hence, you can still drop the mattresses, which are about average 50 pounds each. So do the math. We took 27 mattresses out of the waste stream. Yes, that is the answer. And unless they are a true recycler and can wait till next spring.
I'm gonna reply. I'm gonna reply and suggest that. It's a young couple. They may be all right.
Okay. Anything else on Shredding Day? Any other comments, criticisms, thoughts?
No, it was beautiful. The Rotary Club were very excited about it. And they wanted to know immediately, when's the next one going to happen? Because they were all having a great time. Plus, they brought in over $2,000 donation toward their scholarships.
So that's also, thank you, Loretta, for reminding me. So this is a win-win for everybody. The Lions, they get donations, and Ken Len said several people donated more than their $10 per mattress, which was very generous. And I know I didn't do an exact hard count, but I know we had well over 200 to 250 cars come through with the shredding at a pretty steady pace all day long. And you know, the cost of the shredding day was a little bit more than we've done before, which is $550, as Mark reported in his treasury report. And the Rotary Club is just basically saying, look, we gotta cover $550 for our scholarship fund. Anything over that is, covers our scholarship fund. And they recorded $2,600 in donations in that.
Wow.
Great.
Wow.
Awesome.
It's great.
It's amazing.
It is.
Amazing.
So many $20 bills going out into their bucket.
Can Eileen put that on Facebook?
Yes, you can. And I want to thank and Eileen at the same time. I think we just want to thank the generosity of the town residents of Orange for participating and being generous to put the money towards charity, which was just a wonderful gesture. And I think their scholarship fund is in great shape. And yes, Loretta, that'll be the first thing under new business that we're going to discuss in a few minutes is the next shredding day.
Mitch, I will say one thing. I got to admit, I got a little nervous at times. Was I think we almost need to put the cones out a little further, because it seemed like there were times when the cars were coming through and we had the pails there. We're dumping in the papers. It almost seemed like we're almost a little too close to the cars, and all you need is somebody hitting the gas pedal the wrong way. And
that's true.
That just made me a little. I think from a safety perspective, that made me a little nervous at times. I thought it was a little. I think still we have to move people over a little bit more, the cars.
Okay, so Pat, good idea, and let's think about that when we do the next one, because the cones were from me. Actually, one of them is Karen's. She donated to our committee. The other cones were mine that I brought just to try and keep things orderly and keep people out of parking spaces. Maybe next time we talk to Public Works, potentially for cones or sawhorses, maybe that might help make things a little bit more orderly as well. I thought it went pretty well. There were a few people that parked. The two things that slowed us up were obviously when you had somebody who had a lot of stuff, was difficult. People that wanted to watch their information be shredded, so they would pull over to get out of the car to watch it be shredded. There weren't that many this time, but there were some. The other problem we had, and this was a problem especially at the end when we were filling up the extra van that took an additional 4,500 pounds, was the problem with people who wanted their boxes or containers back.
Right.
And that was a twofold problem. One is if they wanted them back, when we filled up the truck, which was filled before 11, just by about 11:30, anybody else dropping stuff had to drop their boxes and bags and could not get them back. We had no way just to dump it. The other problem was when we got backed up a little bit, people who wanted their boxes or their containers back had to pull over, and it kind of held up the process. Sometimes they would wait, right where they were. We dump it right away, but that also slowed up the line a little bit too. I think next time, if we continue to do it this way, which I think did work better, to encourage people to put them in disposable bags or boxes.
I think
As much as I hate the plastic bags, having the documents in plastic bags went a heck of a lot faster than those people who had them in plastic containers that they understandably wanted back, and did slow things down. Mark, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was saying the next time we do the shredding newspaper article, just maybe in bold, just say, if possible, please use disposable boxes or bags
That you don't need returned, yeah.
documents off.
And then, as you know,
Maybe you could specify paper bags. I mean, no one wants extra plastic, and
right. Well, the only good news was that extra plastic went into the rack and pack.
Right.
We filled the rack and pack that day with the extra plastic bags, and we more than took care of, because I ended up going to transfer station that afternoon, and those cardboard containers were full, and I think we had a lot to do with that, with the number of cardboard boxes that we broke down from people leaving those, which was fine. They all got recycled. We recycled a lot that day, not just the paper and mattresses. Loretta.
Mitch, you were very clever because you bought your box cutter.
Yes.
So man, you were flattening those babies out right away. But I also wanted to say, since this year and last year both, we were full by around 11:30. Does Affordable Solutions have a larger truck?
They don't have a larger truck. He used to have a second truck. He does
Yeah.
not. I don't think he has that anymore. But let me tell you something.
Yeah.
The truck he had before was a lot slower.
Oh.
I think he'd still be shredding.
Well, then maybe we just need to shorten the hour from like 9 to 11:30 instead of 9 to noon.
Oh.
Could be, or maybe, but listen, there's a couple things that may have caused this to be bigger than ever. Not the least of which is, number one, we were not able to hold this in April. So there were a lot of people who had a year's worth rather than 6 months. Second thing is, due to COVID, we've all heard, and some of us, including myself, are responsible for doing a little bit more cleaning than usual because we've been more home more. I think people had things that were pent up, quite a bit of stuff that they were getting out. So if we're able to do this again in the spring, I don't think we have to wait another full year. We should definitely consider that. If we're able to do it in 6 months, we should be back to quote unquote normal, although it always amazes me how much stuff continues to come out, especially with people doing so much more online today. Loretta and then Chris.
One of our neighbors came across Rotary magazines, Rotary Club magazines, one from 1972, another from 1986, which she gave to me to give to Phil. But Phil also commented that he was just chatting or something with a lady who had old bills from G. Fox and Company. Do you remember that department store in Hartford? Do you know how long ago that went out of business? The people were really cleaning up.
It is amazing, yes.
But a lot of that stuff, I'm sorry, Chris, it's your turn. Go ahead.
That's it. Just one quick thought. One thing I was thinking also we could perhaps bounce around is, if by say 11, if we're going till noon, if Joe sees us getting to that 3/4 mark, maybe we start moving some of the residents who are willing to drop it off into the secure van. That way we always have a little space for those that want to, kind of dump. But anybody wants to drop it off, we put that, from 11 to 12 into the secure van and leave the truck a little more available for people that want to take their bin, their containers with them. Just a thought, just keeping that space available.
Excellent idea. If I knew we were as fast at filling the van, filling the truck as we were at that time, it might have been something we would have done. It was like all of a sudden Joe said, "That's it, we're full," and I'm like, "Uh-oh, now we got to move on to the van." And that you're right. But if I knew we were getting close, or we thought about it that way, that's an excellent point.
Well,
it is.
I remember asking you right before that, Mitch, that I said, wow, this truck is probably getting full, and you said, "No, I just talked to him a little while ago, and he's still got a lot of room left." And it probably within 20 minutes is when it was.
I thought he said he had a lot of room there too. Chris Kelly, if you're listening to me, if you can let in, I think Karen Del Justine is trying to get into this meeting.
Yeah, Mitch, I'm right here. I was literally just gonna. I noticed that, and I wanted to make sure.
Yep.
It's okay to admit this person before I.
Yeah, she's a member of the committee. She just texted me to say she wants to come out to the meeting.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna let her in.
Thank you.
Before she gets on, do we specify what people should have in there for documents? Because it's like, not that I'm staring what people had in there, but it seems like some of that stuff, it could have just been in normal recycling.
There's a lot that ends up that could be in normal recycling. I think we've gotten a lot better with this because the first couple of times we did this, we had a lot of newspapers, magazines, stuff that really didn't belong there. We didn't seem to have too much trouble this time with people bringing shredded paper already. Not people bring shredded to be shredded, which does not work. It jams the conveyors the same way the plastic bags jam the conveyors with the regular recycling. I think people have gotten better with it. I've stressed when I bring it up at the Board of Selectmen meetings and also when we put the articles out that it should be personal documents, such as checks and bills and medical records and tax returns and things like that. I think people are pretty good at it. I wasn't really inspecting what we were throwing in there, but
Right.
every once in a while you saw stuff like, really? But, in the long run, it all gets recycled, which is really good.
True.
Mark?
Yes, I was just going to say that Eileen says that on Facebook. She posts what people should bring.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
So,
Next year in the press release and also in the articles, maybe we just put that like in bold print or something, make it.
sure. As we keep doing this, we have a lot of people who are doing this for the first time. I had a couple of emails from people wanting to know how this is going to work and things like that. And of course, I have a big email list. So when I send out my emails, reminding people of the list I have of people that have asked to be or participated before, I can also stress some of those other things we've come up with tonight, in fact. So Mark's getting all down the minutes, so I will remember all that stuff.
It truly is it's a great service. I'm so glad to be able that we could offer it and provide it to our neighbors and residents. It's an excellent.
Mhm.
It is, and I really listen. We thank. I can't say it enough. Thank the Rotary Club for their contribution
Absolutely.
and for their help. We were busy that day, so we needed everybody's help that day.
So busy.
So
Very busy. Sorry I was late.
it's all right, Karen. Thanks for
Really
joining
late.
us. I know you're a busy person out there helping the Army out.
Yeah. Did you guys talk about people who brought things in containers that they wanted back?
Yep,
Yeah.
Yes.
we talked about that, and real quick, two things was we didn't expect the truck to fill quite that fast, and second of all, Chris made an excellent suggestion that, well, two things. We're going to try to urge people to bring their shredding documents in containers they can recycle or don't need back. But also, if we know that the shredding truck is getting full or close to being full, we can start putting boxes into the van if people are leaving it to be shredded later. And so we can still have more room for those that want the bins back. So there's two ideas that come from this as we learn every time.
Mhm.
Mark?
The only question I had regarding that was, do we have to then start informing every single car that we're not necessarily going to shred it, that it might be done off site? Because that could cause a little backlog.
Yeah, it was
And that's what we had to do when the truck was full, but to
Right.
let them know so they had the option to take it with them. So if it gets to be 3/4 full, you're going to have to start asking everybody if it's okay again.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah,
I know
that's true.
that was the case for one of the people there, I remember, right, Mark?
At least one.
gentleman had trouble with it.
Yes.
Well, and I was approaching cars at the top of the driveway when we got to that point also, and some people did say, most of them turned around because they wanted the containers back. A couple turned around because, at least one turned around because they wanted it. They weren't trusting that it would be shredded off site.
Mhm.
Most everybody else came through and said, no, I just got it in a bag. I got it in boxes. I said, go right ahead.
Mhm.
But if anybody wants, Joe Johnston yesterday sent me some photos of. I should try to forward these to you. It's amazing what it looks like when you see 10,000 pounds of paper shredded.
I'd like to see that. Forward them. I'd
Yeah.
love to see that.
I will.
What's he do with it?
Well, he brings it. I think it's Bridgeport where
Bonfire.
it's shredded and they pay for it, and it's used for for filling and other kinds of. It actually does get recycled, which is great.
Yeah.
Oh,
You could recycle shredded paper in your own compost bin. So
Yep.
maybe they even use it for things like that.
I'm honestly not sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just curious.
Anything else on shredding day? If not, we'll move on to any other old business. If not, brings us right to new business. So with that in mind, as a segue from our last old business, I have in the last 24 hours been in touch with the following: High Plains Community Center, the Rotary Club, the Lions Club, Joe Johnston, and the Mattress Recycling Council. The best date, if we're able to, COVID permitting, pull this off in the spring, looks like April 10th. Saturday, April 10th. I hope that's good with people here. Nobody sees a big conflict with that. We looked at everything from the last week of March to the first week of May. And that seemed to be the best date that we could do. So I've already, in fact, Joe Johnston called me today because of the check situation. I said, Joe, unless I tell you otherwise, put April 10th in your book, because we're going to discuss it tonight. So does that date sound good with people?
Oh, yeah.
I
All
can't
right.
be there.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, Passover, right?
I'm sorry, Karen, what's that?
I can't be there. I just looked at my Army drill weekend, but
Well, Easter's a Sunday, so that wouldn't be affected.
that's
Passover.
fine.
I guess it's okay, yeah, it's Passover.
Easter's the Sunday before.
Okay.
Easter, I believe, is if it's the 10th, Easter would be the 4th. You want to check me on that?
Yes, it is.
Because
You're
that's
right.
why, that was one reason why we didn't choose the 3rd. was
Yes.
because of the Easter weekend.
Right.
And Passover is back in the end of March, and the first week of May, they're thinking if it can be run, they'll run the Cinco de Mayo road race. The 24th, Joe wasn't available. He's already got a booking for the April 24th.
Wow.
I forget.
Don't let me stop you guys.
Okay. All right. Except for Karen, then, can we do April 10th?
Yes.
Oh,
All right. Is there a motion to go forward with the next shredding day? Like I say, COVID permitting, for Saturday, April 10th, 2021.
So
Yeah.
move.
By
Oh,
Loretta.
Wendy.
Wendy's a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much. So we'll start informing people that aren't watching us live tonight that we are going to start working on April 10th to do it again. And very, very pleased. Not only is everybody available, but the Rotary Club has already said that they're willing to sponsor us again, which is fantastic and
Wonderful.
very, very much appreciated. Any other new business? Loretta.
Yes, just a short thing, but I would like to give a shout out and a thank you to Wendy Novick, because she keeps sending me all these great ideas on recycling. And so I've made a separate file for all of her emails. And as I'm looking around, if I don't have a specific item like shredding day or something to write about, I'm going to go to Wendy's file and look at ideas that she's got. They're terrific. And thank you, Wendy. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Wendy.
Sure.
Do appreciate it.
I'm happy Wendy stayed awake for the whole meeting.
Oh.
Just kidding.
I want what you're drinking.
Oh, you noticed.
It's seltzer water.
Oh, polar water.
I always keep the stick can next to me.
There you go.
Cycle that can.
That's right. Any other new business? All right. If not, please mark your calendars. Our next meeting is a Thursday. When we set up our calendars, originally this was because of the fact that it's kind of a domino effect here. Wednesday, November 11th is Veterans Day. Therefore, the Board of Selectmen meeting moved from November 11th to November 18th. And you guys were willing to allow me to still attend by moving it to the 19th. The following Wednesday would have been the day before Thanksgiving, so that wasn't going to work. So Thursday, November 19th is our next meeting, 7 p.m. And I presume at this point we will still continue on Zoom. So with that, if there's no other business, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Pat moves, Loretta seconds. All in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, abstentions? If not, we are adjourned at 7:57 p.m. Guys, once again, before we leave, thank you. I think the shredding day was an overwhelming success, and you guys made it happen. So thank you very much. And
Thanks,
Great
Mitch.
team.
Thank
It was a
you.
great success.
Thanks
We
for
will-
your leadership.
It was fun, and thank you, Mitch, for all that you do. You're very, very,
And thank you, Mother Nature.
it's a labor,
Yeah.
Loretta, it's a labor of love. It really is. So thank
oh,
you.
that's great.
So,
Any
all
committee
right,
I've served on with you has been so fun. And
thank you.
really,
Thank you.
why I
All
asked
right,
to be on this one.
keep recycling. We'll see you in November.